Hello ladies and gents, welcome back your lovely faces. Dead by Daylight. Now, I used to stream this game non-stop. I used to love this game like anything. It was up there for me as one of my favourite games of all time to play, alongside the old Call of Duty Zombies, and the new one actually, and Grand Theft Auto. But over the last couple of years, it's kind of declined in the last 2 years for myself anyway. But they've now going to make a Dead by Daylight movie. And the production house behind it is Blumhouse. Obviously, Blumhouse has just had a major 2023 with Five Nights at Freddy. And again, another game which I don't know how that could actually make it into a film, but somehow they managed to do it, which again, the reviews were, if you're a fan of the game, you're going to love it. If you're not, you're going to find it a bit bizarre. But with Dead by Daylight, it's a very unique story, because obviously you've got the elders and all this, you've got the entity, the other worlds, and I just don't know how to do it, especially when the game has killers like Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Ghostface, Leatherface, all of these other characters, major iconic horror characters. You know, you even got Pinhead. You've now got Chucky and Tiffany from the Bride of Chucky films in there. And it's like, how are you going to make all of this into a film? And, well, the vice president of Blumhouse has actually come out and said the following. I will say that one of the projects that I'm active on is Dead by Daylight, which is the video game adaptation of a game that's been around for like 7 years. I look at that as a celebration of horror that the video game itself is, which it is. It's like the granddaddy horror video game, you know? It's, if you're an iconic horror, you're in it. It's like a horror hall of fame. That's probably the best way to describe it. What we've learned is, from Five Nights at Freddy's, obviously steer towards the fans and make a video game adaptation for them, which is very, very true. I'm a huge Dead by Daylight fan. I played even though I steer to newer games like Alan Wake 2, and I'm like, let me play some Alan Wake 2 tonight. I'm going to get into DBD and play The Killer tonight. That's how it used to be. That one I'm super excited about, and we're creatively mulling around what the way into it is. And that's very true, because like we were saying, the story for DBD is very unique. You know, the entity, you've got all these horror icons from different worlds, and it's like, are you going to bring any of them into it? Again, there's certain things which you can't bring into, because Blumhouse doesn't have the license or the copyright to use those characters. But the characters they do have, and some of the killers, they could be very unique movies, because they've all got backstories, and the backstories are very extensive. But for me, if I was going to be doing this, I would probably do it with the Doctor, the Shock Doctor, because to me, out of all the characters they got, original characters, he's the one who has the most potential to become a horror movie legend. He does. But as it says by here, though, could the Dead by Daylight movie be Blumhouse's next big horror? It's in some ways a surprising choice for a Blumhouse film adaptation, which it is. As the game became more popular, its later iterations evolved from including generic characters that mimicked horror movie villains to actually including the licensed versions of those characters, Leatherface and Michael Myers. That is, DBD pays frequent homage to horror movies, so to then make a horror film out of it turns into the form which it emulates. Yeah, I really don't know how they're going to do. And as you can see by there, it does say about Five Nights at Freddy's was critically panned, but it made $295 million worldwide. And if I remember correctly, I think the budget was like 20 million, 25 million. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do this. But going forward, if they can make a great horror movie, it's going to bring in the people. It's going to bring in the droves of horror people like myself. And to be honest with you, if the trailer for a horror film looks good, I'll go and see it. Because that's how you get horror people to go and see movies. Again, you do get some who literally just go to see, right, I'm going to see every horror film that comes out this year, whether it be bad or good. I've said it in the last couple of years, well, last couple of months, really. Terrifier 2, for me, is the horror film to beat over the last couple of years, because that is just so it's just on another level of everything, of horror, terror, the violence, the gore, everything, compared to everything else that's coming out. Especially when last year you were going to make a direct sequel to the greatest horror film of all time, The Exorcist, and you literally go and fuck it up. How can you fuck up The Exorcist making a direct sequel when you try and get people involved and it's like, oh yeah, I know what we're going to do. We're going to do this. And it didn't work. You know, you tried showing a few things like of the girl being stuck in hell and all this bollocks, and it just didn't pay off. And the film, unlike the first film, which engaged you for nearly 2 hours before you saw any type of exorcism, it was character driven. This new one, it was just a bunch of bland characters talking about, oh, the person next door, the priest won't help us, but the priest will come in at the end and try and help, but doesn't. It was just bollocks. That's me. That's my review for that. But anyway, that's what we got by there, guys. I'm rambling on. Let me know what you think about this down below for DBD. You're looking forward to it. Let me know how you would go about, out of all the characters in the game, who would you make a movie for? Let me know down below, folks. If you are new, like and subscribe, hit that bell, do all the ding-dong stuff, and I'll see you all later.